Welcome back to the channel today, guys. In this video, it's the 15th episode of my top 10 setups of the day. Before we get started, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel to see more of these amazing setups. Starting off our list is this very cute but simple setup from Tea Cakes. The most important item here today is clearly that absolutely adorable mat, which is a Doggo Sushi Pink desk mat from the My Keyboard online store. They also have a fantastic custom keyboard made from KBDF fans, a Frost mechanical keyboard case with a Gateron silent red switches and NPKC sunset keycaps. They've also got a super cool chair based off of a DVA from the incredible popular game Overwatch, as well as a Lego version of her mech. As much as I love the simplicity of this setup, I'd love to see a mouse that matches the keyboard, as well as possibly a bigger desk to accommodate those two decently sized monitors. Coming up next, we've got this very adorable setup, this time from user CocoMon Puffs. In that stunning PC, we've got an Intel Core i7-10700, Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro 16GB of RAM, a Gigabyte Z490 Vision G, a GeForce RTX 37 Vision OC White, 1TB SSD, and all of this in the incredibly popular white Lian Li O11 case. This setup also has a super cute and unique chair in the form of this Beyond You chair. I would love to see what this setup would look like if the manga wall in the back was completed, and maybe a few more photos just to show off the different peripherals that they've got. Although the aesthetic of this setup from DaleWensley is very different from the two that we've just seen, it certainly isn't any less awesome. This build has much more of a chill 70s vibe, which is really shown off by the insanely cool looking 70s chair that was snagged off eBay. For a desk, they're using an incredibly long Iroku kitchen worktop that's been masterfully mounted to the wall to give it the appearance that it's floating. On the desk, you can see a Logitech G Pro gaming keyboard that actually has its keycaps taken off, giving it this typewriter-like appearance. On either side of the desk is a heft set of LS50 speakers, which I'm sure sound fantastic, especially with all of that sound foam. Coming in at number 7, this next setup from Jamie is super simple and minimalistic. On that black IKEA Gateron desk, you can see a plethora of Logitech gear, including a 502 mouse, G610 keyboard and a 935 headset, as well as a Razer mousepad to top it all off. That black PC on the right is housing an RTX 3070, an i7-10700K, an NZXT Kraken water cooler, a Corsair Vengeance 16GB of RAM, and a Gigabyte Z490 again. To complete that dark and sleek theme of this setup, they've also got an awesome thunder-free stealth chair. I love how monochromatic this setup is, and it's always a treat to see a setup colour scheme that's on the dark side. In 6th place today, we've got the first plant-heavy setup that we've had in a while actually. This one comes to us from user Vibranium, who is totally right in their belief that there's no such thing as too many plants. The desk is a gorgeous dark wood with a Temple and Webster Axle desk with a matching Ergolox chair. Mounted to the desk is a monitor brand that we don't see too often in the form of a Xiaomi Mi 34 monitor. Below this monitor is a HyperX Alloy Origins keyboard that fits in wonderfully with this desk's dark and natural aesthetic. Overall, this is a stunning and cozy build that I would honestly love to see with a few more plants. Next up on our list is our number 5 spot, which is this awesomely camouflaged setup from mrbenjarni. That monitor is an MSI 27-inch 144Hz monitor with an awesome wallpaper that almost perfectly lines up with the wall behind it for a really cool effect. On the desk below the monitor, we've got a slick Corsair mouse, and next to that you can see an awesome lightning bolt neon sign. Although we can't see the PC, it has got a Ryzen 7 3700X, a ROG B550F, Gigabyte 2060 Super, 32GB of RAM, 2 M2 Viper 1TB and 2TB Seagate HDDs, a H100i cooler, Corsair 680X case, and 80L120 Pro fans. Although this setup is fairly simple, I think it's definitely one of the more creative ones that we've seen today. Our next setup comes to us from Cenos and is super warm and cozy. Their desk is made up from the iconic combination of an IKEA Calby desktop and a pair of white Alex drawers. The combination of the warm light from the desk lamp, the orange RGB of the PC, and the monitor's wallpaper give this setup a fantastic sunset vibe. I wish the Razer mouse on the desk was also set to an orange or red colour to match. This setup is actually so distractingly nice, I'm willing to bet you guys didn't even notice the sock under the desk. This setup from the Despair Squid is a terrific example of how far ambient lighting can take your build. The RGB behind those monitors really helps bring this setup from good to great. Speaking of the monitors, they've got a triple monitor setup with 3 HP Z24G2 monitors, all mounted to a Pewterson triple monitor stand. Their desktop, which is mounted on Alex drawers, is shockingly long enough to hold all 3 monitors horizontally without feeling crowded or cramped. You can also see their super comfortable looking chair, which is the autonomous Ergo Chair 2. All in all, this is a fantastic build and is the start of a more RGB heavy setup. Volrin, the owner of this next setup, is clearly a fan of the colour purple. In that PC on the right, we've got an Intel Core i7 8700K CPU, and then they've got an Asus ROG Strix Z370-E gaming motherboard, an RTX 3070 video card, and a G-Skill Trident Z RGB with 16GB of memory. All of this is housed inside a Lian Li PC011 dynamic case. For peripherals, we can see 3 monitors, an Acer XV272U, an Acer XF-A240, and an Acer Predator X34. Below that is a Logitech G Pro RGB wired gaming keyboard and a tilted Nagent RGB headset stand that's holding a Beyerdynamic DT1990 Pros. All of this gear is sitting on a custom desk made from a Laurel training tabletop and an Amazo electric stand-up desk frame. Coming in at number 1 is this setup from bluewidebeth. It's got one of the most intense RGB setups that we've seen on the channel. Next to that awesome Master Sword sign from Neon Nerd, you can see a Lian Li 011 Razer Edition PC case that looks absolutely fantastic. Near that, they've also got a Soundcore Flare 2 speaker. I could definitely see some people being overwhelmed by the intensity of the RGB in this setup, but honestly I think that just makes this setup all the more eye-catching. This build seems like it would be a fantastic place to game, and I'm sure that the OP has certainly spent a decent amount of time here. And that is the end of today's list. Check out the description for a list of a lot of the gear that I've mentioned in the video. If you want to see more of these incredible setups, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss the next episode. Leave a comment down below on which setup you think should have been number 1.